All right. It is nice to have you all here in a moment of quiet, letting the day go and stepping into the present. And I'm so excited to step into the present with our 47th episode today of Inspire Me Forward. That is something to celebrate and be grateful for. And with that, I'd love to introduce my guest for today in season 7. My guest is Japji Kaur. And Pepsi, I'm going to let you say a little bit more about yourself.
Greetings. Thank you for having me. So, I think earlier you were saying you like to start with who, what, and where. The who, from the recent studies that I've been doing, I am a tiny, tiny, minuscule cog in this great, mysterious, uh, whatever it is, macrocosm. On that tiny little island that lives in my conscious brain. I am a psychosomatic therapist and a psilocybin therapist, and I am in the process of becoming an artist as well, a ceramicist. I am currently located in Brampton, although I have facilitated um, workshops and healing modalities worldwide, Bali, Morocco, Mexico, things of that sort. And what else did you say? What else did you ask for? Who,
That was what? Where? Where are
where?
you located in the
Brampton,
world?
Ontario. Yeah, Brampton, Ontario.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you. And I love that you said the macrocosm. And I think that so in its way ties into time and
Mm,
our time shifts. And that's what this whole season is about, is talking about those moments or those times when time shifts for us and
mhm.
changes and our relationship with it changes and how we walk through it. So that is really what we are looking at and exploring in season 7. And I've got a quote that I used last time, but I'd love to use it this time and just sort of I'll read it and then let it park there and see if it bubbles up in anything that we talk about. It says, time is not one thing. It does not work in only one direction or at one pace, but it is undeniably one of the great structures by which we can define, experience, and create our existence, including our connection with each other.
So basically, time is God.
Yeah, I never thought of that. I love
And
that.
if
That
you
is
don't
sort
like
of like you
and
said.
if you don't like the word God, then you can replace it for whatever you like.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you say that. It's if you were to define that, it would be similar, wouldn't it?
It exists and it doesn't. It
Yeah.
changes everything. And in the moment, everything is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Um, Nothing ever remains the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't wait for anything. It's working on multiple consciousness levels and multiple realities. There's 8 billion humans, which means there's 8 billion realities, which means there's 8 billion time frames.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that. That gets us off on a really deep thought, deep let's dig down from there.
Okay.
So I would love to give the floor to you for a while and let you share with us and our listeners. Just walk us through that catalyst. What has it been? It can be a immediate thing, it can be a long thing. We all go through things differently. But what is that catalyst that reframes your thoughts on time?
Yeah. I think for me, the the overarching story or the overarching repetitive pattern that has shifted my perspective is not wanting to be on this planet, not wanting to be here. Yeah, I just want to clarify that doesn't mean that I want to be dead. It doesn't mean I want to kill myself. When I was mentally, emotionally underdeveloped as a young person, as an immature person, as a person who wasn't looking at that macrocosm, it I could have labeled it as suicidal. Now, after all these years of observing and studying and recognizing the pattern, I can confidently call it simply wanting to go back home. However, I've made peace with not wanting to be here. And in that, the time shift flipped upside down, where for 45 years, I was in this paradigm of, I don't want to be here. And then when I renamed it to, I want to go home, all of a sudden I made peace with being here. And immediately my time paradigm shifted from struggling to peace, from being a victim to understanding how to participate with life,
Mhm.
from, you know, that saying, if it's not working for you, it's working on you, as opposed to something's happening to you.
Yeah.
So I went from that belief to the other beliefs. And in that time shift of changing the vernacular, because I truly understood on a deeper level that I don't want to die, I just really miss that. I don't even know how to express it sometimes. I miss that feeling of unconditional love, which is not on this planet. And the only place I find that unconditional love is in the animal world. And they don't even consider it love. To them, they're just being. They're just
Mm.
being. And we as humans give it this label called love. And I believe that the way we view love should actually be labeled transaction.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't do more. Say more on that. Tell us
Well,
more.
the time shift created a massive ability to see beyond love and not calling things love and actually referring to things as life, as opposed to, I no longer say I love you. That's just my thing now. I just say I life you.
Mm.
Animals don't say they love each other. They life each other. They are participating in life.
Mm.
To love would to love would mean that I am benefiting somehow from your beingness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it's not mentally, it's spiritual. If it's not spiritually, it's emotionally. If it's not emotionally, it's physically. But there's something that I'm getting, which
Yeah.
is transactional.
True.
But
Yeah. Mm.
I believe that we do, as a species, have the capacity, and perhaps we've evolved from this or devolved from that point
Mm.
to now where it is transactional. But maybe there was a time where I didn't have to get anything out of it and I could still appreciate your presence.
Yeah.
Not even within my sphere of existence. Like, you could be in Germany and I haven't spoken to you in 20 years and nothing happened and we just started living our own life. And the love for you is still so, the appreciation for your life is so strong, just knowing that you're happy and you're doing well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's no ownership and there's no reciprocity of receiving anything.
hmm hmm
Mhm.
It gives new meaning. Well, not new. Going back to the natural world, the reciprocity is to me is in the um not our human reciprocity of, oh, you gave me a gift, I have to give you one. It's in the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen.
You can't
Right.
experience life without the exchange.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
connection. Yeah.
Like just being born of the womb, even while you're in the womb, you can't exist without receiving and giving.
hmm
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
different than what we have turned it into.
Absolutely.
Then that like
And I
it goes
believe,
back transactional. Yeah.
yes, and I believe that is what has happened with the word and the term suicide too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say more.
Well, the transaction is that the pain stops.
Okay.
So if I end my life, the pain will end and I will be in peace.
Mm.
Right. So now that
hmm
has become a human thing, the human phenomenon of suicidal idealization.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Because there is no animal or any species that thinks that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So that is the transaction. The transaction is that I am receiving peace.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I believe that is, again, transactional. I do not believe that is unconditional.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Okay.
unconditional aspect of it, the way of loving or lifing, just lifing, and
hmm
having that is to honor the love, to
hmm
honor the life. And to honor the life, we experience the grief in missing it,
Okay.
missing God, missing source, missing that place that we came from as souls,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever we are a part of. I miss that. I
mm
miss that amalgamation. I miss that oneness. I miss that consciousness.
Okay. Okay. So going
Yeah.
back to what I was gonna ask you in a sense is what is home? Like, yeah, that idea of wanting to go home. And I mean, my business card used to say, I work with horses and it's like horses guide us home. And I can say that and people just go, ah, I've seen a group all just this deep breath because there's this inner understanding of home and not necessarily like the physical home, but this inside of us, there's this like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is
I
that for
think,
you? Yeah.
yeah, I think in this human form, home is being, just being life.
Mhm.
And I think on a spiritual level, if I had a image of what home is, it feels like a primordial wavelength of
Mm,
unlimited amounts of ions, atoms, protons,
mhm,
just drifting, but in a wave. And there are branches of it that drift off and branches of it that drift in. And those are lives coming into
yeah.
Earth and then leaving from Earth.
Bow in the waves. Yeah.
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 Yeah. It looks galactic. It feels musical.
hmm hmm
It, but regardless of whether it looks a certain way or whether it feels a certain way, there's this essence of oneness. There's this essence of connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, not attachment, but connection.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Attachment.
yeah. And
So,
it's funny that you talked about the horses because this is why, when I was young and I experienced the first, let's call it earth-shattering death in my life, it was my first dog. That
Hmm.
was my first heartbreak. And when he passed away, I believe I was 21. Immediately, I volunteered at a horse ranch, Clairville Conservation, just 10 minutes away from my home. And I begged them and I said, I will pick up shit. I want to be around the horses. I want to be around animals. And I did that for a short period of time until I no longer could.
Hmm.
And I forgot. I forgot how much peace and joy it brought me. I was in my early 20s, so I don't think I had the capacity back then to understand what I was receiving.
Hmm.
I think I was subconsciously processing something, and now my method of process has become different.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I started volunteering at the ranch that I met you at, the farm that I
Hmm.
met you at,
Yeah.
I was also grieving, and
Mm.
something pulled me back there. And when I'm there and I'm working with them, whether it's turning them out or feeding them or mucking
Mm.
after them or brooming the, walkways, whatever it is that I'm doing, or even if I'm just picking the burrs out of the paddocks, it doesn't matter. I am in love with life.
Yeah.
I am at peace. I'm just lifing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm out there with the horses just lifing. The same way they're just being, I'm just being.
So when is that makes me ask, when does that, where did that change? Where did it come from where you were to this ability to be out in the field picking, bringing burrs down? Like, how did you get there?
It's so funny, as you're asking the question, I realize that there's a pattern there. My obsession with death was with suicide as a young person. And now, as a grown up, sometimes I can say, oh, yeah, it's wanting to go back home. However, that realization only came from the death of my loved ones.
Hmm.
I fell
Hmm.
in love with somebody after 46 years of a lot of pain and struggle, and I felt like I met the person. And we wanted to move forward with a life together. And
Hmm.
within 1 year, they passed away of cancer.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. And I believe 3 months prior to that, I lost um one of my precious fur babies as well, and he was a rescue, and
Hmm.
he came with very violent tendencies, and he was hurt and he was abused, and within 3 months, you know I had
Yeah.
him off leash. We never needed a leash anywhere we went.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he
Interesting.
passed, and it was absolutely out of the blue. Just within 3 days, realized he had brain cancer, and within 3 days, he was gone.
Hmm. Hmm.
And same with, the potential life partner that I wanted to be with, um, diagnosed in August,
Yeah.
passed away by November.
Okay. Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's like,
So, okay, well then can we bring grief into this because it is I mean it's just something that's so widely talked about, widely studied, widely shared, widely, it's what is in that word for you or
I
not
don't
in that
think that,
word for you?
yeah, Linda, I don't think I was grieving. I think I was jealous.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
wanted to be where they were,
Okay.
not because I wanted to, not because I miss them,
Yeah.
but because I wanted the freedom that they had.
Gotcha.
I wanted to amalgamate. with Source the way they had.
Mm,
Yeah. I know it
yeah,
sounds perhaps terrible of me to say that.
not at all. I don't think so. No,
Yeah.
it's a different, and I know you've said you've had to reframe it from I don't want to be here to I want to go. Oh, I lost my train of thought there. It was a good one too. Um, oh, we'll come back to it. Sorry, I have to write it down when it comes back to me. So good. I was so into it and it's gone. Uh um yeah, no, it'll come back to me, I'm sure. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
interesting
was envious.
concept. Yeah, yeah.
I would never want them to stay because I know that I know that they're out of pain and they're free where they are,
Hmm.
wherever they are. What and it's not even a they anymore. They are oneness.
Absolutely. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's your healing then is different than what we are accustomed to, perhaps,
Yeah.
from that
My grief
situation.
is right. My grief is not about I miss so and so.
Hmm.
My grief is I want to be where you are.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one thing they say is grief is all the love
Yeah.
you never got to share. So it's a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that because now that I've had that paradigm shift, it feels like all the love that I never got to share now gets to be an expression of my love for God.
Mm.
Pottery is about God. Volunteering
Yeah.
with the horses is about God.
Mm.
Helping the people the way I do in my therapy clinics is actually about God. You know,
Mm.
fostering dogs, it's about God. It has I am the vessel where expression of love for God now has the awareness that that is what I'm doing.
Mm. Yeah. When you so you talked about the wave, that primordial wave of that oneness, and these lives are coming in and out. Do you feel that mostly when you are out in nature, close to the animals? Is that where you feel that the most?
I think I feel that the most when, yeah, out in nature with the animals, not so often when I'm like humaning with other humans, but when I am in gatherings with family or friends, it's when we're all laughing and cultivating joy and like intentionally being joyful.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like I have a group of four girlfriends and with me that makes us five. And we do the most silliest things. Like we're all in our 40s, maybe late 30s, and I'm close to my 50s. I think I'm the oldest out of the group. And we do the silliest things. Like we none of us are swimmers, but we'll choreograph dance moves in the pool and record it. We run around hiding behind tree trunks and piggyback each other from tree to tree. We just do insane things for grown women.
You're not, but that's that being. That goes
Yeah.
back to that being, and that's not putting all our fluff on it and age appropriate and this and can't do
Yes.
it sounds like you're just taking all of that away and letting that
Yes.
fall to the side and going, no, I'm just being, and being is that wave.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's the closest being, that's the closest to home.
Yeah.
Those
Yes.
moments is that do you feel the
Yes.
presence of the loved ones that have passed, being
Oh,
human and non-human when you were in those
oh
states?
my. Oh my, absolutely. Actually, to be honest with you, I feel the presence of the humans that have transitioned mostly all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like you know how sometimes people are like, "Oh, I feel my grandma's presence," or "Oh, I feel, my girlfriend's presence," or "I feel my boyfriend's presence." It's not like a label where I can call it the presence of that person
Mhm.
or that fur baby or that human that I loved. I actually feel it and see it as the presence of God expressing itself through the symbol of that human
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
or being.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, it is greater than that being that had a name.
Hmm. Well, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so how do you do both? How do you manage to be in this world and be in the being? How to the lifing. How do you manage both worlds sort of because we still walk in this world?
Yeah. I have come to learn that peopling and solitude and understanding my capacity is very important. When to people and when to solitude. If I am not tuning into my own needs and I'm betraying my needs and my capacity, chances are I'm going to end up with some resentment, some guilt, some shame, some fear,
Yeah.
maybe some overwhelm. Now, I can't control all situations where in some situations I'll feel like I'm ready and I have the capacity, I go, and then I'm overwhelmed or overstimulated. And that's okay. I go with the flow. I don't feel as though humans should always be regulated. I believe we should diversify our technology, our human body, and our mind, and we should be able to bend. However, when it comes time to cognitively and consciously making plans, I always just check in with my capacity. Like the other day, a friend's husband messaged me and said, "Hey, we're all going out for so and so's birthday. She doesn't know. It's a surprise. Buy tickets and meet us there." He sent me the link. I
Mhm.
checked out the link.
Yeah.
It was a daytime rave.
Oh,
It was an immediate full body no. I did not have FOMO. I sent a message back to the husband politely saying, "I'm sorry, I won't be able to make it. It's not my vibe. However, I do have other plans for my friend, and I will celebrate her birthday with her via those
right.
plans."
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I really have come to terms with honoring my yeses and my nos
Mhm.
and not having FOMO.
Yeah, yeah. If your body says no, it's no.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
there's a vast amount of humans who are not comfortable with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But is that not growing up in an age of people pleasing, guilt
Yeah.
and shame? I mean, I hear that constantly when I'm doing circles or whatever we're doing. It is this constant, as we get older, it's a constant trying to pull ourselves out of this people pleasing.
Yeah. And I would like to rephrase that.
Mhm.
Why don't we get to the root of the people pleasing? Why don't we call it what it actually is? Instead of what we're giving, let's
Mhm.
call it what we're doing. Let's
Mhm.
call it self abandonment.
Yes. Yeah.
So if we look at it as self abandonment instead of people pleasing, it it's more impactful when we think about the repercussions.
Takes on a whole
When
new
we
light.
say people pleasing, it doesn't sound so terrible.
Hmm.
What's wrong with people pleasing? That's all. I like to please people. But when we say self abandonment, the impact of those words create a larger repercussion mentally and emotionally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. What is it that, because I'm doing this, what is it that I am abandoning in myself?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's a good reframe.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what we talked about going to the animals and that for your we're all, I think, on a healing journey of some way, shape, or form. Is there anything else that helps you and is part of your healing journey?
Writing. I love writing. It has become a new way of me processing.
Mhm.
Um,
That's okay. We're just gonna take a breath for 1 minute. Japji's got just something on that's okay. We're just gonna take a breath for a minute and maybe just take a moment and let this all sink in. This is some really interesting um, aha moments, I think that we're all having, myself here, these aha moments that we're having, and these ways of, perhaps reframing and shifting our own bit of, thoughts on time and how we can see things differently. And when we see something differently, we shift time just a little bit as well. So, yeah, just taking a moment to consider. I know I'm taking notes here, but just to consider what's being said here. And we're back. So
my apologies.
that's okay. No, just a moment to sort of gather what you've shared so far and sort of jot it all down. That's I'm a writer too, so I have several pages of
Yeah.
notes already.
Yeah. Yeah. Last year I had the opportunity to write a book. I wrote not a book, a chapter in an anthology of 12 chapters. And I realized I'm really good at writing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And the pottery is another way where, the writing, I use words, but they're unspoken words. Do you know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
fingers to paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's challenging me to dig deeper into my ability to use words as containers for
Hmm.
so much. And you being the fantastic writer that you are, I'm sure that you feel like words may seem futile at times.
Yeah, for me, it's often I don't know what I'm going to write, or whether that is writing by hand or typing on a computer. I don't know what's going to come out of my fingers until it I sit down, and my monkey brain wants to know ahead of time what I'm going to write, and I have to turn that monkey brain off and just sit down, and then it flows and my brain goes, "Oh, that's what." So it's a different, I think for me it's a different process. I'm halfway through a novel, like a fictionary novel, and I don't know what is going to come out next. And
Yeah.
that's so hard at times. Well, why would I sit down and write now since I don't know what I'm going to say? But these do, my fingers do, my
Yes.
body does. So
Right.
yeah, that's
Right. And as you're talking about the fingers, then that makes sense to me as to why I enjoy pottery so much too. Yeah,
mm.
it's like the same thing without the. Okay, so the words are the containers
Yep,
for the story and the sensations and the emotions.
yep,
And then the pottery is the container for like the journey.
yes, yeah.
So I think if I was to answer your question again,
Mhm.
I think I really have this thing with creating containers. Yeah.
Mhm. To hold what?
The stories, the
Stories.
journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the the process of lifing.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes. And to pick up a piece of pottery and to hold it in our hands with what you with remembering what you've just said is like it's not just a cup, it's just not a mug, it's not a bowl, it's the story of lifing, as you said. It's a container holding a story, and it's a
Yeah.
whole new way to pick up and feel someone else's story. You can read a novel, you can hold a bowl, the same thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
If you
Yeah.
have the capacity to see beyond that, right here, right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's funny as you say that. I think back to time, and it's that broadening of our perception of time that creates it not being linear and there to there. I just had this feeling, this image when you said that of this just time widening.
Yes.
And it's just it's this infinite width where there is no left to right, this hour to this hour, seconds, hours, minutes. It's just this widening
Yes.
of time. So thank you for saying that. That's it's widened my perspective there.
Yeah.
So
That's a very visceral, I guess it's a very visceral sentence. I can feel that.
mhm, interesting.
Hmm.
Um, how do you, I guess let's talk about support and community. We have often when we're going through something, or you talked about your friends that you do silly things, and but yeah, can we dig into community and support a bit as we're shifting, however we are shifting, what's that for you, and what are your pieces of wisdom on that?
Yeah. I'm very, very particular as to who holds space for me.
Mhm.
Um, Very few people have been able to display the ability and capacity to hold space for me. Not because I'm a lot or not because I'm grieving so much or so much trauma has happened in my life. It's not because of that. I believe that not everybody has the capacity to be very balanced mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I believe a lot of people are missing some of those very fundamental pillars.
Mhm.
And when I do experience somebody who does have the capacity to hold space for me, I don't want to take advantage of it. So I process as much as I can by myself
Mhm.
until I need intervention, until I need somebody else's hand, somebody else's perspective, somebody else's words, etc.
Mhm.
Whether that be, metaphysical healing, or whether that be a friend, or whether that be a therapist.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. And in me being so particular, I have actually learned how to hold space from each and every one of these people that I have experienced in my life, that have shown me how good they are at holding space, that it's kind of like I want to be that.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. I,
yeah.
I want to do that. That's a gift.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think it is a gift, and it's a gift to give, and it's a gift to have,
Yeah.
because it is not something that shall I broaden it to the human race is good at.
Yeah.
And I
Which
see
is
that in
why
the
I,
animals. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Which is why I reach out to um, volunteering and
Mm,
fostering. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When I,
But there,
go ahead.
mhm. I do have a core group of humans that have immensely supported me. I
Mm,
am incredibly grateful for their existence and their becoming and their unbecoming and everything that they stand for and the way they choose to participate with their lives. I look up to every single one of them. And some of them have gone and some of them come and that beautiful life cycle.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
We say with the horses that when we're having, because they're the masters of holding space, because they can stand with you in a balanced state and just be there.
Mm.
So when explaining that to people, we were often saying there's three ways you can, there's three things you could do here. You can either, as a holder of space, you can either fall into the story and attach yourself to the story being told, which isn't healthy. You can disassociate from that story and not be there at all, or you can be present for the story without attachment and just be there.
Mhm.
And things people tend to fall into one of the, one or the other of these. And it's that one, like a horse or a dog, will just be there
Right,
and let you pour it all out, but not attach themselves to it.
right.
Yeah.
And I think the attachment is the meaning making.
Also,
Well, when you make meaning of events,
hmm
the meaning of the event, usually a meaning of anything comes from our own consciousness and us being the center of our own consciousness, rightly so. The meaning is about us.
if we're the one that's being held space for,
Yes.
if I'm holding space for, say, you, I'm not going to fall into that and attach myself and attach my past experiences and attach my trauma to
Correct.
that story, because then
Right.
that's taking away from your meaning in a way.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
what makes them the masters of that. They don't attach themselves to that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Nice. So if we zoom out a bit, um, let's talk about time.
Mhm.
But so how is your just on a very high level, uh, sort of human level? How is since you were, you know, half a life ago, how is your uh relationship with time changed and how you see it and experience it?
Hmm. I don't believe I had any true awareness of time as a young person. I was
Okay.
so lost in my consciousness, in my unconsciousness, sorry. It felt like I was never going to get to where I wanted to get to. Um, Everything revolved around me. Um, there was no future consequences. You know, I believe I was in the now back then, being
Mm,
ignorant.
yeah, very true. Yeah.
Yeah. And now that I have more awareness of time, I'm actually more aware of the ramifications of the now in the future, which help me make my choices now. But the funny thing is my future isn't dependent on what I want to gain or my goals or my manifestations, my wants or my desires. My future, all of my
Mm,
future, whether it be tomorrow or 50 years down the road, is about going back home to God.
hmm hmm
So everything revolves around going back home to God.
Yeah.
And whether that be today, tonight, or whether that be whenever, everything in between that now time actually doesn't matter now.
hmm
Yeah.
Is that a wonderful place to be
It is. It's very
for you?
freeing. It's very
Mhm.
liberating.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that's why I am the age that I am. And I look so graceful and so young.
Shall we ask?
So I really feel that me not stressing about time or my future or life or death or, any of that stuff, I truly believe that's what helps me feel so radiant and jovial and full of life.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Do you worry less?
yes. I would say I worry 50% less now.
Wow. And celebrate more?
There's nothing to celebrate. I'm not doing anything.
Okay, maybe that's the wrong word. Joyful more.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, feeling that exuberance of life,
Mm,
like feeling that energy of that wave. I
yes.
guess I see you as attached to that, and there's always a
Yeah.
piece of you that's riding that wave.
I haven't quite found the word to describe that. It's not joy,
Okay.
it's not exuberance, but there's something that you're saying that I'm
Mm,
feeling, but I don't have a word for it.
mhm,
If I was to kind of make it into a sentence, it would be a constant state of, not constant, it would be a very often state of bliss.
okay.
Like like somebody who's in a desert who's dying for a drink of water who gets that sip and it's
Mm,
like ah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's just
And it happens so often, like a few times a day.
nice.
Yeah.
Yet I know in our conversations that we've had, uh, you're um thirsty. That
Yeah.
that's one of it. I was talking about water, but it's this again. If we could just make pottery right now, it'd probably come out a lot better than
Right.
words.
So my hands are gray right now because before our time together, I was actually doing
Yeah.
pottery.
But it's this you have this. I love having conversations with you because you have this thirst. That's the only word that's coming to mind. So pardon me if it's not the best word, but this thirst for um dancing in the knowing. How's that? It's like we have these conversations about things and it's like, oh, what about that? What about that? And we might have different, you know, thoughts, but it's just like it's this dancing in this all knowing, not just my knowing, your knowing. It's this all knowing. And the more we learn, the more we talk, the more knowing there is.
Yeah,
Does that make any sense?
it does. It absolutely does. I'm obsessed with dance.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with watching people dance. I'm obsessed with people who make dance their craft of life. I used to dance. I used to be a dancer. I used to get lost in dance.
Mm.
And when you say that, dancing in this all-knowing or deeper knowing or bigger knowing, I once again that image of the primordial wave just dancing in the ethers comes to
Mm.
mind. Yeah.
Mm. Interesting. Interesting.
Hmm. I don't think I answered the question, but I do
Okay.
believe, um, yeah, I do believe I am. I will die with an unrelenting thirst for knowledge.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and is that not instead of You've done so interestingly reframe things, but that is that not our human experience? Is knowledge in the way that we're speaking of it here, knowledge, wisdom, is that not part of the human experience?
Can be.
If it's brought with or approached with a curiosity and a kindness and it's not a power over or anything like that. It's approached with, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. Well, that's interesting. Like it's widening.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we look at the natural world,
Mm,
especially when it comes to, let's call it Aboriginal agriculture,
mhm,
there is a way that certain plants, certain fruits, and certain vegetables are harvested and
mhm.
planted and situated.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I believe that they all evolve and grow based on the information that they're getting from their neighboring crop and things of that sort.
Yeah.
Because there is a natural, innate curiosity in life
Hmm.
to always lean on what it's surrounding.
Yes. Yeah.
And I
Support.
think once we cognitively separated ourselves from God, or once we were told this story that we are lesser than God, or God is this thing that is judging you or testing you or punishing you
Mhm.
or will punish you.
Yeah.
Once that story became solidified in our cultures, the curiosity turned into fear.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
So, how can we, how can curiosity and knowledge be everybody's potential when the seed of fear is planted
Hmm.
so vastly?
So it depends on the our approach to it, our heart towards it. Are we or our mind? Is it heart or mind? If we're coming at it from the mind and
Yeah.
a fear base, then it's one thing. If we're coming at it from the heart and curiosity, then
Yeah.
it's very different.
Yeah. And I don't believe we'll be able to experience that curious, playful, compassionate desire for knowledge until we actually witness and hold space for and admit to our truest fears.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Walk forward into them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Huh. Interesting. So much
Yeah.
food for thought here, my girl. Um, so how would you describe time if you were to talk, somebody would ask you, what's the meaning of time?
Okay. So, you know how a lot of people are under the impression that we live in a dualistic world?
Hmm.
I don't believe in duality.
Hmm.
I believe in polarity. And I believe that the polarity is only present because of partnership.
Okay.
So I believe time is God and God is time, and they have a partnership
Okay.
and they are parallel.
Say more.
Like two highways
Hmm.
going side by side, the journey is different,
Hmm.
but they are fundamentally working off of the same momentum
Hmm.
in allowing us to go from spirit to physical.
Hmm.
Only time can do that.
Hmm.
And only God can do that. But one experience is mental, emotional, spiritual.
Hmm.
And the other experience is material, physical, and mental.
Hmm.
If we can harmonize or balance our those fundamental pillars that I was talking about,
Yeah.
we can ride both of those highways at the same time simultaneously and
Mm.
utilize the partnership as opposed to the polarity.
Oh, interesting.
So when you say what is time, I see time as an opportunity to evolve. I see time as an opportunity to embrace constant change and admit to constant change as opposed to be afraid of it.
Hmm.
And I believe time is the 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 one teacher that allows you to, in that very moment,
Yeah.
change. But I
Mm.
believe everything, any other change takes time.
Yeah.
I know it's I know it's a juxtaposition where any other change takes time, but time doesn't take time to change. It happens instantly, like right then and there.
Yeah,
Like if
absolutely.
I decide no more cupcakes after today, that's it. I've changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't ever promise myself that anyways, but
Like you go, girl.
oh no, no. I will have my cupcakes. But my point is that
Yeah.
like when you say what is time, it's a
Mm.
parallel experience to God.
Mm. Interesting that we could, and that it could take so many turns. Like you say, they're running along, but it could take all these little jutting outs and ins and getting closer to, getting further away from. Still going, but this it's not a linear path.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
So much to think about. My
yeah.
good, my goodness. Um, how is your journey now? If you were to,
Peaceful.
nice.
Yeah. At moments, it's deeply, deeply, deeply sad for no apparent reason
Hmm.
because everything is seemingly good.
Hmm.
You know, there's a roof over my head, there's food in my belly, my parents are well, I have beautiful friends, my dog is healthy, I'm doing all the things that I want to be doing. I'm doing all the things that I said I would do in my 20s that I never did. And close to my 50s, I'm doing them all now. I have all the support I could possibly want. I'm good at everything I put my hands on.
Hmm.
And yet there is this deep, deep, deep ingrained melancholy for this life experience.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm called to ask this question through your life experiences, through the evolution that you've gone through. Do you feel closer to home?
Oh, yes.
I don't mean that in action. I mean that in the
No, no.
heart. Yeah.
Yeah. There is no desire now to actively do that.
Hmm.
I have no desire to take action to make that happen.
Mm.
I feel so close to home. And whether there's, like I said, one day or 50 years actually doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
But the reason why I feel closer to home now is actually because I have a relationship with God.
Mm.
And I check in every day.
Mm.
And I don't just check in by bowing my head and saying a prayer in what some would believe, like religious institutions or matriarchal kind of, patriarchal kind of developments of, religious ideas. But I check in as in, I go into my heart and I really check in with, am I doing the right thing? Am I growing?
Yeah.
Am I changing? Am I acting on the things that I know I need to act on? Am I stopping the things I need to stop? Am I consuming the right information? Am I consuming things that are not reiterating that peace and that kindness and that compassion that I want to be?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
To me, checking in with God isn't necessarily bowing my head in reverence and praying.
Yeah.
Checking in with God is remembering that I'm going back to God. And
Mhm.
am I living out that expression of God in this physical form?
To its fullest.
That, yeah. So that relationship has changed me where it exists in every choice.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I lose my temper. Sometimes I say things. Sometimes I do things. Sometimes I think things that are not quote unquote godly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shortly after I do it, I get to observe it and I get to invite change and growth.
Absolutely.
Whereas before, I wouldn't see it.
Yep.
I wouldn't see it. I would be the victim and I would justify my behavior.
Yeah. I heard something the other day about awareness. I'll have to find it and include it here because it was very profound. And the fact that when we become aware and a person that walks through life with a conscious awareness, it's not always easier. It's almost sometimes harder because then we see those things that or we hear those things that we say that perhaps were ungodly. And we have a certain um, d- duty in our with ourselves to take action for that, to evolve, to grow. And it's that having awareness is actually it's beautiful, but sometimes it's harder.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely. I hear people say it all the time in client sessions. Why do I always have to be the bigger person?
mm,
And in that moment, I realized that you're not being a bigger person. You're actually being an incongruent person
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because the just saying that alone, that I'm a bigger person, means that there's a desire in you
Mhm.
that doesn't want to do the thing that you know you should do.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Which means that there is one of your needs that are being unmet, which means whatever you think you should be doing is transactional.
Yeah, we go back to transactional.
So
Yeah.
if we remove the transaction and you just be a good person instead of being the better person,
Mm-hmm.
and you go into it knowing that you will not receive what you are expecting, but you have been true to yourself, that doesn't make you the bigger person. It just makes you you, be your truest expression.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in that, you observe how a lot of people don't see life that way. And that is at times hurtful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a it takes a lot of being to to get there. But that is that's an interesting way of
Yeah.
putting that.
Being
Yeah.
congruent in this world is incredibly difficult.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, regardless of what your belief system is, all of the spiritual masters, Buddha, Ram, Allah, sorry, not Allah, Muhammad,
Mm-hmm.
Christ, Mother Mary, um, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, all the way down to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And I'm sure there's multiple more that I don't know the names of. All of them were persecuted
Mm-hmm.
for being righteous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And being righteous means being congruent.
Congruent. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting though, the most used word in 2024, I believe, was authentic or authenticity. And
Right.
I thought, wow, isn't that an interesting word for the times that we fight, not fight, we try so hard to be so in such a world that tells us not to be so, that is the number one looked up word
Yeah.
in
So
2 years ago.
it, yeah, and that word can be problematic
Mhm.
when you are coming at it from an ego
Oh yeah.
affirming way, even
Yeah.
if it is subconscious.
Hmm.
That word can mean special. That word can mean for depending on what context you're using it in.
Sure. Yeah.
That word can mean different. That word can mean validated or excused, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Depending again on how you're using that word.
Yeah.
But if we really think about expression
Hmm.
and authenticity and authenticity of that expression, then that is purely through this technology suit that we wear.
Hmm. Hmm.
Your voice is different, your perception is different, your eyesight is different, your body's abilities are different, your sensations are different, your awareness is different. So in just being, already you are authentic.
Yes. Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
unique and authentic.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, yeah, but if you're going to fight for authenticity, then you're not being authentic.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I don't like to use the word anymore. I use truest beingness.
Truest beingness. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it just goes back to the being.
Yeah. Authenticity, I believe, became a problematic term in the pop psychology world
Hmm.
because it also separated us all from the oneness.
Hmm. Hmm.
And people began to believe that they were special.
And it was the duality of authenticity versus authentic, non-authentic. I remember doing exercises,
Right.
and like write down your non-authentic self here, write down your authentic self there, and let's just put them against each other.
Okay. But if you think about time
Hmm.
now, go
Hmm.
back to your whole concept of your whole
Hmm.
topic of time.
Hmm.
Time changes experiences, experiences change perception, perception changes authenticity. So, what exactly is authenticity when you yourself, as the being, is constantly changing?
Good point.
So, I was
Yeah,
being
it's
authentic in my 20s and I'm being authentic now, but they're two totally different
totally
things.
different things. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, even authenticity is meant to evolve, which means
Mhm.
it's not authentic, it's evolutionary.
It's evolutionary. Yes, there you go. Hmm. And we all evolve.
Yeah. Authenticity is only true in this moment, like
Yeah,
right
right
now.
now. Yeah, yeah.
Right. But 10 minutes later, I read a book, a quote hits me
Oh,
across the head like a brick and changes my authenticity.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it changed my perception,
Yes. Yeah.
which means it wasn't authentic to begin with.
Hmm. That's called going down the rabbit hole, folks.
And I'm not even high.
Oh, my friend.
Sorry.
It's okay. Uh, so we're almost at the end of our time together, although I know we could just talk and talk and talk. Um, do you have any final words for our listeners in closing?
No, I really enjoy talking to you.
Yeah, we always do.
Yeah.
It's more fun in the
It's
barn
funny.
with the wheelbarrow full of you know what, and yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny. I would say that I used to get so excited about seeing the horses, and I still do on Mondays when I go volunteer. But now it's like I check in with you first. I text you because I'm excited to see you too.
Got some good conversations.
Right? Let's talk about some philosophical stuff.
I think it builds up during the week. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
I gotta write this
Oh,
down. I can't
this
forget.
is a question for Linda. Linda, I read an article. What do you think about this? Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, that's fun. Well, then I think we are going to offer you absolutely so much gratitude for being here and your wisdom and sharing your journey through beingness and through that that wave of oneness. I love that. That's almost like dancing. It's
Yes.
almost like dancing. If you well, you can't see me here, but I'm dancing. So it's
Yeah.
that it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So
Well,
thank
thank you
you.
for inviting me to
Oh,
dance with my thoughts.
absolutely.
Yeah, thank
And
you. I appreciate the invitation. It means a lot to me.
absolutely. Well, we are thrilled to have you here to talk to us. And thank you those that are listening to this. And we hope you have enjoyed the wisdom and taken lots of notes. It is it's our core belief at Inspire Me Forward that we inspire others when we share our stories. And in that we share a collective connection. And we sort of let each other know that we're not alone in this big, beautiful world. And the courage that it takes to share one story might be the very thing someone else needs to open their heart to a different, brighter, evolved tomorrow. And at Inspire Me Forward, we also ask that you share it forward. You just never know who else needs to hear the words and the wisdom shared in this episode. And we always feel that I feel that the more ripples for good that we can create, the more harmonious the world will be. So stay well, stay connected, and stay inspired. And thank you for being here.